This is the story of the families who fought to uncover the truth.
California Teachers Association,
the teachers union,
was doing opposition research on parents.
Really high level of coordination.
15 days.
I don't have a direct number to Director Walensky, do you?
Yes, I have Director Walensky's direct number.
What a great gift. We have to use it.
Basically, in the name of equity.
Keep everything shut down, especially the schools.
Is it the virus keeping the schools closed, or were there special interests?
This was the biggest smash and grab.
Stop the bleeding. More money.
We need $1 trillion.
That's a sick society.
Well, folks, what you just saw is part of the trailer from the new documentary, 15 Days, a real story of America's pandemic school closures, which you can watch on X for free right now. Joining us is the director of that film, Natalia Markman. I said that right. Okay. Natalia, good to have you on the show.
Thanks. It's nice to be here.
It is a great honor to have you on. This is a fantastic moment, I think, in history to air this. For a long time, we weren't allowed to have this conversation, and when we weren't given any of the facts. Now we're getting the facts and the freedom to debate it. Tell us what gave you the inspiration to do this.
I was an open schools parent. I saw the kids suffering when the schools closed. I thought they'd open, next month, in a month, in 2 months, in 3 months, but they really didn't open. And when they did reopen, they were terribly restrictive, even for the youngest kids who had to mask and distance. My kids used to eat outside on the cold concrete in the middle of winter. And so I wanted to understand why, who did this, because the kids were not being kept safe, and we certainly weren't putting them first.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Natalia, I know John would agree that one of the best ways to pick apart a conspiracy as a journalist is to ask the question, who benefits and why, why do they benefit? Who benefited from closing schools?
Well, there were many organizations that benefited. I think President Trump is really kind of cleaning the house, and all of the USAID defunding and the NGOs on the extreme left. I mean, I think indirectly many of them benefited, but directly the teachers unions. We ended up as a federal government paying $189.5 billion to reopen the schools. This was money that Randi, Weingarten, Becky, Pringle, the heads of the two largest teachers unions in the country, were extorting from the federal government. First from President Trump in the first administration, and then afterwards they got a check from President Biden. What Randi Weingarten was originally asking for, and this is actually in our film, was she said they needed $1 trillion, and on top of that another $100 billion because of the costs of reopening schools.
Wow, talk about taking advantage of a situation. Natalia, I think somewhere in that trailer I heard this word, and I've heard it said many times, that some on the left took COVID to be a gift to really launch forward their sort of globalist big government picture. Did you find some of that in your research, that they viewed COVID, which we all viewed as a horror, as a gift for achieving maybe their political ends?
Well, I mean, they said it themselves. We just weren't listening. It was March 2020. We were sanitizing our groceries. I threatened my husband, who was just about to turn 50. I said, do not go outside because you're going to die. I was one of the first people who was wearing a mask. I was so cautious on the New York City streets. And in the meanwhile, while we weren't looking and while we were told to fear, be scared, the virus is dangerous to you, we had Jane Fonda as a ringleader with Randi Weingarten and the heads of all of these NGOs, the Greenpeace NGOs, all of these environmental and social justice movements, saying this is an incredible opportunity. We can't squander it. Jane Fonda said, we don't have the time or the resources to do these crises separately. We have to use them together. So, yeah, it was happening.
Stunning.
I want to ask you about what age demographic suffered the most, because obviously in your formative years and when you're in elementary school, you're trying to pick up on social cues. You're just trying to learn the basics of communication. In middle school, you're going through the trauma of being a teenager and social media. In high school, we had multiple classes of high school seniors and college seniors who never got to walk in their graduation. When it comes to breaking down these different groups of children, who do you think suffered the most?
I honestly, I think everybody suffered, and that was the goal of creating this film. I think I show in the film that there is no demographic amongst children who didn't suffer. I interviewed children from a lower socioeconomic demographic, younger children, older children, and also very wealthy families who all said their children were suffering. The film is dedicated to Noah Sylvester, who was a Brooklyn Tech high school student here in New York City. His mother was a plaintiff on my open schools case against Mayor de Blasio in New York City. Unfortunately, despite everything she did, and she had resources, she had education, she's a psychiatrist, Noah took his life at age 21 this past May. So, I mean, that's the ultimate price.
Only about 30 seconds left. I know we could use a lot more time to have this part, but this, you blend in your own family's immigration from the Soviet Union to here. Tell how that kind of influenced how you saw what went on.
Well, I think my parents instilled in me like critical thinking and independence. And also I knew what a totalitarian regime was like. And when I could no longer freely speak or share news sources or really just discuss, our kids' well-being, even at the playground at school, I knew we were in trouble.
Yeah. Well, you've done a great job reminding us the trouble we got into and now are getting ourselves out of. Natalia, what a great honor. Everybody go check out this film on X. It's going to be a rock star. All right, folks, that's all we got for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow with more programming. Until then, you know what we're going to do? We're going to hand off the baton to my good friend, Grant Stinchfeld. I'll take you through the next hour with all the big news. We'll be back tomorrow night.